everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a full hard industrial rave techno track in the style of Nico Marino 60JOU. These style of tracks everybody's loving right now. As usual, you can get this fully arranged track template for Ableton. Literally everything, the whole track is arranged out. All the samples, MIDI, and presets as well. Everything is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's a really great deal. I promise you, this will allow you to make the best tracks of your life, and you'll really get to the next level because you can use this and build off of it and really make something awesome with this great template to start from. Links at the top of the description. Again, guys, don't miss out. It's a really great way to support yourself and honestly just make the best tracks of your life. Thanks for the support, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 155 BPM. First thing we got up here is just a sidechain, and then we got the kick. Now, this kick is 5 layers. We have our main punch, which is this hard techno kick that I made. And I'll turn off all the group processing so that's our main kick on its own. And then we have the bass underneath that, which is taking that same exact kick, and what we're doing is we're stretching it way out here. So you see you get this like longer bass note, and then we're using an amp, an EQ, which is going to cut the sub that we don't really want, and also cut out the highs that we don't want. Convert it to mono then with the utility, and then sidechain. And when you put those two main layers together, you get this super fat kick right away, right? So this is what everything is built on. Then we have this bass layer where we're basically doing the same thing. So it's the stretched out kick again, and it's distorted as well. But this time we're putting a bit of reverb into the distortion. And we're also putting the distortion before the EQ, so you get like that, and then we just dial it back, you know, a bit of utility in case you need it, and then we're just side chaining that. But see, you go from this to this. See how it kind of makes the bass more like uneasy and dissonant and more like warehouse, like ravey? So that's kind of the secret, because in a lot of these tracks, it's not just the big fat stretched out like 909 style kick and with the bass. It's also that kind of has the like rumble element to it too. And I think that's really the modern thing that people are playing with these days. So this is how you do that. Again, you go from like super, still you have this going, and it's the super fat, hard hitting kick, right, with the fat bass. But then you add that like uneasy rumble, and it ties it all together. And then the last layer. So this, we're actually adding a different bass. So we go from this hit to this. See how this is just adding that little brown, brown, brown. It's super subtle, but it actually does make a big difference. So it's a 909 kick being distorted super hard, converting it to mono, and then we're just side chaining it really hard and high passing it. But again, it just adds that like brown, brown, brown to really get the proper distorted kind of kick we want. Then on the whole group, all of those are going into this pedal. So that's only at 11%. You're not hearing that much of it, but it's adding like a lot of punch. And then we're actually cutting out the subs with an EQ, right? Which kind of just lifts everything and makes it like really like groove a bit better. We're converting it to mono in the bass. There's an auto filter which is coming on. And then also we're sending it into this. Which we'll talk about later. Then we have the hi-hats. So we got 3 layers. We have the main like fat 909 type of techno hi-hat. A shaker under it, which you can see is also going through that send quite a bit. And when you put those together, it creates something new, right? You get this really fat but still 909-esque hi-hat. And then the last part to that is underneath it all, we have this vinyl noise hi-hat I made. So this is a sound design technique where you take like literal vinyl noise like this. That's the sample, right? Like one of those atmospheric texture noises. I turned it up a lot, right? And then what we're doing is you make it really short. You can see the amplitude envelope here. I'm making it like a shaker. Like it has this short attack and then a bunch of decay. We're low passing it too. So it kind of gets a bit heavier. And then we high pass it, convert it to mono, and it sounds like that. Then erosion, which you can see makes it more like a hi-hat. And then a little bit of filter delay. And yeah, this makes for like a really nice kind of layer to the hi-hats. Just something that's not so drum machine and a bit more organic. And it's good in this part too. Then we have some rave loops. So this one, which is like just a nice shaker, basically, you can see it's got quite a bit of processing though. So we're taking, so this is like the original sample, sounds like this. A little bit of delay into this overdrive. Low pass, which really just makes it disappear at the end, and then a bandpass filter. So see, now it's like just a shaker, and then we're side chaining it. And then this one is actually just kind of like chopped up. You can see I actually chopped up 2 of them. This is from my Definitive Hard Techno drum library pack, these rave loops. And yeah, I just chopped those up, and then if you put them through a bit of delay with the chopping, plus the side chain, you can see it creates a really nice groove. And then the last percussion we have before we move down to the synths is just a bit of operator percussion. So yeah, I really like using synth percussion in these tracks because you can get some great textures. We have like this thing. So what it is, it's a bunch of sine waves doing this crazy FM where the first one is up a bunch of octaves higher, and then the second one is like really low. So you get this crazy tone. Like if I put these back to like a normal octave, see, it kind of sounds more like a synth, but if you put it back like this is like one of those operator techniques to really get more like percussive textures out of it. And it's also the envelopes just being short and punchy. Then we got a bandpass filter with a hard shaper, plus an LFO on the pitch, and also the filter cutoff of the bandpass. So here is like without any effects what this is sounding like. But if I turn off the LFO, see, that's the secret that's making it really dynamic. And then we got a little bit of reverb. Delay, which is actually completely wet. Distortion. High pass. Utility to turn it up a little bit. Sidechain. And then low pass, which is like constantly moving. So it's opening and closing all throughout the track. And then we also have this little operator hi-hat. So there's just a bit of white noise. So I'll turn off all the effects so you can see. It's just there's white noise with a high pass filter with like a hard shaper plus an LFO on the filter of the high pass. To get this cool like warping percussion. Auto pan, which you can see just makes it like tight 16th notes. Bit of delay. High pass, so it's really just in the high end. Sidechain, and also just this low pass filter, which brings it in and out subtly. And then we have this FM growl that you hear throughout the track. So yeah, this is this crazy sound. What's happening is it's just playing one note, right? It's just this F sharp. That's the key we're in. And then it's really all happening inside of operator. So it's a bit of sine wave FM. You can see it's really just with the second one being up an octave, but then the detune being turned up a lot, and then also bringing in the third oscillator a bit at an octave down. So if I Like, see how much that third oscillator is really adding? Right? And then we have a high pass filter with a sine shaper. And then we're also automating the high pass a little bit there in that part. There's an LFO on the filter cutoff though. So that's really the movement. Because if we turn that off, yeah, it's just the same thing over and over. This is what makes it a dynamic sound. We got a bit of chorus, a bit of delay, sidechain, high pass, a utility which actually brings it in and out, just like turning the volume up and down. And also a low pass to make it disappear in the break. Then we have this FM stab from the second half. So it's just like this super aggressive FM stab, but if you play it with the last one, you can see it really bounces off nicely. Right? They really like work together in that part. So what's happening here is it's just playing one long note of F sharp, but then there's an arpeggiator. So if I turn that off, see, that's the stab. And then the arpeggiator is making it do 16th notes. So I'll turn all the effects off and you can just see. So it starts life like that. That's just a sine wave with a bit of FM from another sine wave, which is an octave up, right? And then another sine wave. And you can see I'm playing with these, the attack on the envelopes, but having the initial all the way up so that you can have it just be like a long held out like thing. And that's how you get that really fat thing. If I turn that off, it's not as like punchy and full, right? So we got that low pass filter with an envelope, right? Then just a bit of delay, hybrid reverb, pedal, which you can hear really like brings out the reverb and delay. A high pass filter here, which has also got a bit of automation to make it disappear. Because when this low pass is going down at the end, it needed that as well to kind of make it just like go away. And yeah, and then we have the melodic lead. Now, if we look at this musically, we're in the key of B minor, but what we're doing is we're kind of like playing around. Like you basically get, what it's doing is it establishes the root note at the start, like you just hear that root note once, and then it's all different notes in that scale, kind of actually creating the rhythm and creating the actual like lead line, right? But because you always establish like the first note every 2 bars is that root note still, it sticks to that key, and like the feeling of all those notes is like in that key, right? So you get those intervals. So what's happening here is like, okay, so it's root note, then the 5th, minor 7th, 6th, a minor 3rd down here. But see, it's like using that minor 3rd as if it's like a low note, but really like the low note would be the B that you'd kind of like want to walk that down to. And you can really get a lot of mileage out of the 5th and 6th, like. You know, you can do so much with like those voices right there, right? So we got that. Then for the sound, what we're doing is it's this wavetable patch where we've got this FM harmonics and then the strong 7th. And both of those have an envelope on the actual like wavetable position. So that's kind of how you're getting the sound. It's taking something that isn't really meant to be like a lead. Like these are more like, you know, for like low basses and stuff, and then playing it up high and getting something that kind of sounds like a saw wave or a square wave, but it's kind of becomes its own thing, right? So we got that bunch of noise unison, a bit of reverb, which is then being distorted as well. Right, so it just takes it beyond that point of no return. Sidechain, high pass filter, which kind of makes it come in without being too full right at the start. And then a low pass, which makes it go away at the end. And then the only other thing we have down here is just a bit of effects. You know, just all those little background sounds, pretty simple. There's not too many of them, just like in really key parts of the track. And then also this effects. So we have this magical little send down here, and I just want to show you like, so here's the whole track without this. With it. See how the whole thing is more lively, more full, while without being like overstuffed, and also just like a bit more textured as well. So basically we have all those different elements you can see just going through this one send a little tiny bit. Where it's just, you know, it's like reverbing like I'll turn off everything and just go from scratch. So it's like, we're just reverbing everything out to start with. Filter delay, which creates all this rhythm, plus some grain delay. To kind of like obscure it a bit. Overdrive. Sidechain. And then just high pass it. And you get this nice like background percussion, but it's like creating that out of the elements you already have, rather than going and just adding more elements and overstuffing the track. And yeah, so that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, the entire template. Everything from this video is available right at the top of the description on my website. Definitely don't miss out. It's a really great, organized template that you can use to make the best tracks of your life. I'm telling you, if you grab this, you're not gonna regret it. Thank you so much for the support, everybody. Enjoy. I'm really trying to support this community and give you guys high quality stuff to make the best tracks of your life. Thanks for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.